I guess obviously he missed a couple of throws, and that's hard when you're in that position, when you're the quarterback, and that happens. It stands out, unfortunately, but that's part of the game. So he responded and made some good plays for us. But one of the things that we have to do as an offense is, in talking about last year, is not turn the ball over. And when you do something like that, it makes it difficult.
Protection was pretty good. Did you think receivers were separating downfield?
Well, you can always find some plays where they separate and some where they don't. The challenge in this league is being able to protect the quarterback and find those guys. So, it was one of those games where we did a lot of good things, but we shot ourselves in the foot, and that makes it hard to overcome. So you can't ignore when you're talking with the team. You can't ignore some of the things that you did well. We ran the ball more effectively this game. We were better in third downs, especially in the first half. There were some positives. It's just that's this game. When you win, everything's great, and when you don't, it's tough.
And this is now the 2 weeks before that, you guys, I'm sure, haven't scored as much as you'd like. It's part of the life where you have so many different weapons. Have you guys figured out exactly what the right mix is of everybody and try to get everybody involved the right amount?
It's an easy thing to say, and I think a lot of that's driven by fantasy football fans, about everybody's production. It really comes down to how the game goes. We have things, it's just like Hunter. Hunter didn't get any targets, but that's not necessarily true because there were 3 or 4 plays you call to get to him, but if they don't give you the right look, it doesn't come out that way. And so we try to mix our offense and do a lot of different things, and sometimes different guys are involved. But, I think some of it is we haven't been as efficient, like you said. We haven't been as good holding onto the football or moving the football. When you do those kind of things, more of those opportunities present themselves. And we, be quite honest with you, we missed quite a few of those opportunities in the game. Well, I don't think there's any question Keenan's played very well. He from where this whole thing started with him coming back after last year, back into the preseason, and getting through some soreness, which is normal with that, he's looked better and better every week, and he's an explosive player that's made some good plays. So it's nice to see him playing that way.
Coach, Keenan's first game was actually against the Eagles. He was thrust in there 4 or 5 years ago. Where have you seen him really grow? He was here as a 21-year-old kid to come out.
It's funny that you say that because we were just talking about that this past week. That was really where it started back in 2013 was when Malcolm got hurt and he went in and played. And he made a catch in that game on a route that he had been awful at up until that point, and that kind of turned the tide. You saw him grow up a lot, and he's really worked hard at it. I think one of the things that I like and appreciate the most about him is how hard he works at it. He loves the game, and you see him on the practice field working that way, and that's what you want to see. Your player's one of your best players playing at that level.
When you get into coaching early in your career, you kind of set your target at being a head coach. How do you kind of formulate your plan as this is what I want it to be like when I get that job? I guess I'm curious as how soon you get into that job and realize, all right, I've got to alter my plan because situations are different.
Well, in this league, a lot of times you're with a team that's been successful and you're going to another team, then it's not the same dynamic, and there's always things that you work through. But, I think that you have a core belief of what you think you need to do to be successful, and the important thing is to stick with that. That's one of the things I really respect about Anthony. He's been successful as a player and a coach, and he understands what it takes to be successful, and, he's very diligent in sticking to that plan. Well, they're disruptive. The scheme that they run is one where they get upfield and they try to make it difficult for you to block their players because they're always on the edge of you. And they're well coached. They do a good job. So we have to be smart in our approach, and we've got to continue to be able to, when we get into situations, make plays. Some of the ones that we missed this past week, and if we can hit those, that always helps. It's a hard question to say, are you happy with anything when you don't play well enough or when you don't win a game? I'm really happy with the way these guys are working. I respect the way our players are preparing, and You know, it's hard in this business in this league to win games, but those guys have shown up. And you know, even last week when we had a little bit of disruption in there, we had Schofield get in there and he stepped up, and the guys played pretty well. So you know, that's a good thing. Thank you.
I remember him catching really one of his first few plays in there, making a diving catch. That kind of got him going, and I remember that was kind of the game for all of us. He had showed in spurts, but that was the game for all of us where we were like, oh, okay, this guy's got something to him. And made a handful of other plays in the game, and that kind of kick-started his whole career.
How do you see him mature over the years? I mean, he's obviously established in this league now, but as a person, as a human, where do you see him?
Well, I think really, obviously he's super talented athletically as a player, and I think really what was a challenge for him early was he's also super smart and learned the offense very quickly and can tell you what everybody's got on every route and all the different positions. So I think that came so easy for him that early on he didn't really have to go through that hard studying process of learning all the plays and the ins and outs of the book. So it came easy for him. And then, you know, after that first year, then all of a sudden the best corners on the other teams are following you around. And he said, all right, he had to really then, not so much the studying of what to do, it was continue to work on his craft of how to get better and better, of how it's going to be more and more challenging to get open. And when you're going to get the best corner every week. And, you know, I think now, though, with a diverse group we have, it's still hard for teams just to key in on him. With the speed, with the other guys, and with the tight ends, and if we can continue to improve running the ball, it makes it harder for a team just to say, all right, go take him out of the game because he's in so many different places. He doesn't line up in the same place, really, 2 consecutive plays very often.
Phil, what's sort of your process for flushing it? I know that's like a thing that athletes go through. How do you kind of handle that?
Yeah. I mean, it was a quiet ride home Sunday. At least for the first 30 minutes or so, and then we had some normal conversations. But it was, you know, I think you're never really okay with it. I mean, I think games like that are games that always I can almost name the handful like that I've had in the last 10 years. Thankfully, it's just a handful and not a lot of them. They bother you because you just feel like you didn't give your team a chance. But then as Monday got going and Tuesday, then I sat there and looked at it. I was like, shoot, if there's any positive in it, it's the fact that it was 17-10. You know, there's been times when there's been a game like that where it would have been 35-0. And when I have a span like I had for 15 minutes there, and then really didn't play that good the rest of the way. I was just a little bit out of whack. Could never really get back in the groove because of the disaster that happened early. So a little bit of me goes, shoot, it was 17-10 against what's being called the best team in the league, even with as bad as I played. So I think then it gets to Wednesday and you go, shoot, we got 13 games left. Let's make it one of the most awesome bounce backs in a season that anybody's ever seen. You know, and you start to get excited again. You got another game, new day, and so that's kind of how it goes. And it gets to today, and I think everybody's pretty well moved on and excited about the next challenge.
The Eagles have a really good defensive front. What do you see as the biggest challenge for what you want to do on your offense with that front?
Yeah, well, it's very similar to, very similar as far as their front structure to Miami. They got a good stout front. 91 Cox in there is a disruptive player. It's a good linebacking group. It's a good defense. They're in in a division that's in that NFC East that's very physical. That's got a lot of playmakers and they play a lot of good football. So like anywhere like all over the league. So it's a heck of a challenge for us. I think the biggest challenge when you're playing when you find out who you're playing when you cross over in the NFC is you don't see them but once every 4 years. So it takes a little more. You play the Chiefs, we can write out that whole defensive front by name and all the DBs before we even turn on the tape. When you're playing this team, you know a handful of the guys, and then you just haven't played them. So it takes you a little longer to get a feel for the actual guy, not so much what they play and what coverage is, more of the guys and what gives you the best chance as far as attacking those guys.
How's your
I don't know that it has any bearing whatsoever as far as with the way the preparation goes. I'm looking forward to seeing Frank. Frank's a coach and a man that I have a great deal of respect for, and really enjoyed our time together, both in the QB room and him as the OC. Obviously, he's still very involved in the quarterback room, and I learned a lot from him, and we had a great deal of fun just communicating throughout the week and working and getting to know each other. So it'll be good to see Frank, but from a game plan standpoint, I don't think, and I would imagine he would say the same thing. I don't think there's anything there that makes either of us do anything different.
You're hitting the year with all the weapons, Keenan, Griffin, Williams. Travis Benjamin kind of threw on the radar, but you've tried to do some big plays with him. Why do you feel Travis is playing really good?
Yeah, Travis is playing really good. You saw him make some of those big plays in the preseason. I think you saw it all through training camp. He's healthy. He's healthy, and when he's healthy, we can keep him fresh and fast. I think you continue to see that big playability, and really, although he's developed that reputation over his time in Cleveland, he's a big play speed guy. But I think the fact that it's on tape now through that preseason, through these first few games, that helps you. That helps you because I guarantee you on the scouting report they're saying, hey, when 12's here, when 12's there, they like to throw it to him deep. So that helps you, when you're creating some other things. You obviously want to continue to try to get him open down the field, but it also helps you with some other things.
Philip, you guys locked arm in arm during the anthem last week. Is that going to be the same approach this week?
I don't know that.
Have you guys talked about it?
Have not.
What are your thoughts about what you guys did last week in terms of?
Yeah. Well, again, I think I said it after the game. I think it was to me it was at least from my point of view, it was showing love of your neighbor and love of your country. And I think at the end of the day, that's what wins out. Love will win when it's all said and done. So I think that was the best way that as a team we could show that.
Well, interceptions aside, you said Sunday night this offense usually just averages able to score more points. Do you think it's just an early rhythm thing?
Yeah, I hope. I hope so. It does feel that way because it doesn't feel. Yes, in ways you could say we're struggling because we are 0-3 and we're not averaging that many points. But in other ways, gosh, if you just watch each play as its own play of all the offensive plays we've had, you see a lot of good things. And none of us in here are sitting there going, we're doing a lot of good things. And feel good about that. But at the same time, that allows us to know, let's just put it all together. Let's just win a game. That's what I can't say enough. Let's just win a football game. And then I think we have the capabilities to go on a run. But we got to win one first. And the way we lost the first two, and then last week, it can cause you to go, oh, shoot, are we ever going to win one? I think we got to make sure we just it seems like years past when being put in situations like this, I know we've never been 0-3, but we play our best when we're a little bit backs against the wall and a little bit nothing to lose. And I don't mean that we don't have nothing to lose because we got every bit of that. But just play a little bit, not reckless, but just go play. Don't worry about the 0-3. Don't worry about what the percentages are of teams that bounce back. Don't worry about the other teams in the division. And just go play, find a way to win a game, and then hopefully we can kickstart a little bit of a run.
Do you think any of that stuff, the talk about the division and all that stuff, seeped in kind of affected the way that you guys were telling at Denver, KC, and week 3? Those games feel really important.
Yeah, they do. I think but they are. They are, and I think we haven't fared very well in division games the last few years. And we talk about championship starting the division. We talk about winning those division games, how important they are. Years we've made it into the postseason, we've at least been 500 or better in the division. Years we haven't, we've stunk it up in the division. So we know how important those games are. But I don't think we played with any added pressure. Again, I'm sick about the way I played. I'm sick that we haven't scored enough points, but I'm super fired up about the way our defense is playing and continuing to hold teams. I have to believe, and history would say, I have the right, I should believe, that if they keep holding teams to 20 right in there, that we're going to win a bunch of games. I mean, because that's just, you look at the last 180, we've scored over 20, a lot of them. So if they keep them there, we're bound to win, and hopefully that starts here on Sunday.
Do you think the sense of urgency will come maybe at the beginning of the game to try to play with more of a sense of get production early so that you can play freer throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about starting fast, and that's something we were really good at last year. We were best in the league in starting drives, scoring a touchdown. We hadn't been as good yet this year, but we it would be great to have a lead. It'd be great to go in. You know, we had one in Miami. Had a chance there before the half to make it 13-3. Obviously, we could have scored a touchdown, make it 17-3. Those are big. Those are big. You make 2-score games. It is different, but that's always an emphasis for us is starting fast. We just need to do. We just need to score. I sum our offensive up by, yes, we want to run better. Yes, we want to throw better. Yes, we don't want to turn it over. All those things. We just got to score more points. You're not going to win many games scoring 10, and that's believing in our defense. It's just hard to win a lot of games scoring 10 points.
You had the chance to play with Darren Sproles. I don't know what his future is going to be after this latest injury, but what kind of football player? It seems to me like he's the kind of guy that, like, on any team, you would love to have a guy who does what he does.
Yeah, I was able to reach out to Darren and tell him sorry about the injury. It's crazy. 2 tough injuries. Yeah, I don't know if this will be it for him or not, but what a career! I mean, what a career he had. 3 places he's been. What he's done. I think I saw he's going to. If he does decide to retire, he's going to be 8th. I think it's all-time all-purpose yards history of the NFL. I mean, that's unreal. And he was. And I know this becomes cliche, but as good as he was player, he was even that good or better of a teammate. He's a guy that you won't find anybody that says they don't like Darren Sproles. Everybody loved him in the locker room. He was a quiet guy, but with a big personality and loved to play. And whatever role that was you're going to throw him 3 screens that week, or if you're going to hand it to him, he would just do whatever you asked of him, and then he'd step in there and block a Mike linebacker that's barreling down on you and fight like crazy to hold up. So what a career he had. Shoot, it was awesome. Hopefully it's not the end for him, but yeah, it was. He's won. When you think back, you know, if I have a long time to think back, I'll think of hundreds of guys you played with that you appreciate. But if you just said, all right, rattle off 10 guys as fast as you can, he would be on the list for sure. Well, yeah, you know, 2 weeks ago, you know, we had 2 completions that were just short on 3rd down, and then we had the one that they called a penalty that would have been a conversion, and we're sitting at about 80% if we get those. So 2 weeks ago we were pretty good. Haven't been good the other games. I still think it's too early to build the you know. What is that? A line graph or a chart, whatever. I think it's too early. I don't think there's enough data yet. We haven't been good enough, but I still believe we'll be a top 5, top 8 3rd down team when it's all said and done.